It's your boy, Captain Colds.
What, and your boy Cash here featuring...
Is he the third man? He's the third man!
The wild card.
And this is Talking Like Champions. Welcome back to episode 2 of Talking Like Champions. And we hope that you enjoyed episode 1. I know that we had some support, some love, some follows, some subscriptions that came our way, and we appreciate each and every one that reached out and actually listens to the podcast in its entirety. We love you guys.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Thank you so much. Cash here, once again. We appreciate all the love, all the support. As Cap just said, it's been a fun ride through one episode, and we are charging heavy on episode 2. And not only here, we're accompanied by, of course,
the third man.
Yo, what up, everybody? Thanks for the support again from everybody. And if I could, I'd give you each and every one a blackjack to say thank you for checking out the podcast and lay them out for the 1, 2, 3. But let's move on.
I hope everybody enjoyed Clash at the Castle over the weekend. I know that I had a good time watching it, especially the main event, which we'll get to here in a little bit. But what about you, Cash? Did you enjoy Clash at the Castle?
Oh yeah, absolutely, I did. It was a nice weekend. It was a nice show. Had a good time watching it.
Wildcard, what about you? Did you enjoy Clash at the Castle?
I did, and I'm really excited because a lot of these international PLEs over the past couple of years since we started the introductory of them have basically been glorified house shows. Now, obviously, you know, we've had a couple of title changes here and there, but this one really felt like, especially with the backlash of France and now adding this to the mix, these international PLEs, they're going to start meaning more and more as we continue to go down the line, and this was awesome, this was excellent, and that main event was something for sure.
It was, and like I said, we're going to go ahead and cover the fallout of Clash at the Castle today. Plus, we're going to get into the unexpected return of a former WWE champion this past Monday Night Raw, and a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. Clash at the Castle, unexpected return of WWE champion. Lots of things happening in the wrestling world over the past few days, over the last week. It's been fun to be a wrestling fan. I'm ready. Let's go.
It's always been fun to be a wrestling fan, but I would say, since we were so young in the Attitude Era, and I know that the wild card's a little bit older than us, and that's okay, so he was a little bit more in tune with that Attitude Era. I would say that right now, I don't think that wrestling's ever been at a higher level. I truly feel that wrestling is at the best that it's ever been.
Yeah, the wrestling world is on fire, not only in WWE, but in other promotions as well. We're still a little bit off from that mainstream, and we were really there when we had The Rock showing up every week. But it is on fire consistently. We are far, far from the ages of late 2019. I think we can all agree on that.
Oh, yeah. 2019, 2018...
I thought 2016 was pretty solid. The introduction of Smackdown Live, I thought that was a pretty solid little era for Vince McMahon. That might have been his last hoorah, some would say. Other than him giving us the tribal chief, acknowledge him, the head of the table, Roman Reigns.
We miss you.
You know,
all misses you.
I think he'll be back, obviously, shortly, and the new bloodline, it's interesting to see. But as we talk about Clash at the Castle, we started off hot with the undisputed WWE Championship match. It was an I Quit match. Cody Rhodes was successful and able to make AJ Styles say the words, I quit!
Hold on, can we stop? Because, the emphasis that Cody Rhodes puts on I quit every time he said it in this little rivalry was just great. He got into it, he grabbed a mic, and it's, he was just not, I'm going to make you say I quit. No, every time. I was having an aneurysm. It was great. I'm actually just going to keep going, because let me tell you, what a match. Banger. I mean, between AJ Styles and Cody Rhodes, can they have a bad match? Probably not. That was one hell of an I Quit match. Let's get right into it, boys. We saw blood.
Yeah, we saw blood, and I'll agree with you. It was a good match, but I'm probably going a little different way than y'all do.
You didn't like the ending.
I didn't like the ending because it definitely could have been more.
And I've seen all the marks.
Like, to me, my number one I Quit match that I've ever seen, and granted I haven't seen them all, has been Rock and Mankind at the Royal Rumble in 1999.
If you smell,
that is the epitome of the I Quit matches. It was brutal. You remember Mankind had his arms cuffed behind him, taking unprotected headshots like crazy. But this was good. You can definitely tell that these guys are very old school too, because I love the fact that they went through the back area. So we went down a hallway and down into Gorilla and then back out. So I love to see those backstage shots.
That felt real 90s, yes.
Yeah,
I do agree. That was Attitude Era, and again, we kind of are bringing back the Attitude Era. Some would say the Paul, Triple H, Levesque era, which I got to be honest, like I said earlier, this is by far my favorite era of wrestling in general right now. So I thought the I Quit match was pretty solid. I don't want to say that it was the best match of the night. Every match was pretty solid. They all had their ups and downs and whatnot. I think that the spot that Cody Rhodes throwing the chair at AJ Styles when he tried to hit the phenomenal forearm, bounces off the ropes, through table.
Yeah.
That was great. But again, like the wild card said, he didn't necessarily care for the ending, and I get it. But hell, I'm going to be honest with you. If I was locked up in the corner and I'm about to get hit with steel steps, I'm quitting too.
Probably, rightfully so. But it's AJ Styles. I'll agree. Yes, I love the match. It's my number 2 out of the 5 matches. It's number 2 for me. But the finish was a bit anticlimactic.
And it was the longest match of the night, capping in just over 27 minutes. So they did do their thing bell to bell, and as expected, an I Quit match, and any Cody Rhodes AJ Styles match deserves to go 20 minutes because they're going to tell a story in the ring, and they're also going to perform, and that's what these two did. And now I expect AJ Styles to go to the back of the line, like Nick Aldis said, and which is why AJ Styles on, I believe it's July 13th, is going over to Japan to wrestle on another PLE for another company, which is huge for the WWE. Also, Io Sky will be in Japan as well, performing on, I think, the same PLE, but I could be mistaken, and I think it's actually a different promotion.
Yep.
So then we went into the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match where Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill defended against Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark, Alba Fire, and Isla Dawn. And we just want to say our condolences with Alba Fire, like Cash mentioned last week when he said that he thought that they were going to pick up the victory, which he was right on that. And the wild card also said that Jade and Bianca would not be involved in the finish, which he was right on that. So just a little spoiler here from TLC. We know what we're talking about. Listen to what we got to say. I thought the match was pretty decent. You know, it wasn't the best match on the night, and you know, a lot of people like to shit on Jade Cargill, and she had that little slip up on the top rope. But now we've learned that the top rope was actually a little loose, and it led to multiple botches throughout the night with the ropes involved. So it wasn't just Jade. Yeah, she could be a little bit green inside the ring, but all in all, I still think that Jade Cargill is a future WWE Hall of Famer and champion.
Yeah, this is my number 4 match of the night. It was good. Wasn't great. There was some botches. Not even just Jade. And I'm not even going to ride Jade like that because, again, I agree. It's not her fault. It is, but it isn't. She's learning still, yes, but I agree. Those ropes were a mess. No, this is number 4 for me because simply it wasn't great, but there was other matches that were better. It gets the 4 spot and not 5 because of the finish. The Rifle Team won. Yeah, otherwise it was a good match. no matter what, women's tag matches are chaotic.
Well-deserved Alba Fire, Isla Dawn picking up the victory and becoming the new WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. And like I said, I don't know how long this reign's going to last. I do believe that Jade and Bianca will get back those Women's Tag Team Championships and then probably lose them again and ultimately go one-on-one at WrestleMania, but that's for a later date and episode. Wildcard, what were your thoughts on the Women's Tag Team Championship match?
It was a good match. I enjoyed it. You definitely see there's still some green in Jade Cargill, but I gotta give absolute props to Bianca for mentoring this young woman through her career. As you can see, as it came out on the internet, that Jade was distraught, and Bianca said, "Keep your head up, Queen, because we got this." And I absolutely love that for Jade. Her pairing with Bianca right now at this point
phenomenal.
In her career, the smartest move ever. Now you can make the argument at some point, is Jade going to be bringing Bianca down, because we know Bianca to be in the main event.
Bianca's done it all in WWE now. That was the main goal of the pairing.
Will happen. They will fall apart at some point. But agree to what Chuck, the wild card, just said. There's no point to splitting them right now. They're both good for each other. They're great for each other.
And it's too early. That's a big marquee match, and you can't sell that at...
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, I love it, but Bad Blood rumored to be coming back, and you're not going to waste that match at Bad Blood. Sorry, that's a WrestleMania match right there. That's money, that's dollar bills, that's main event worthy, that's one of these women winning the championship and holding it and losing to the other one who wins the Rumble. Then we let's bring up the Intercontinental Championship, where thank you was unsuccessful once again.
I will say,
when he took on El Generico, Sami Zayn.
I will say this before we even get started. Let's just remember this as Chad Gable's second to last match ever in his career.
Yes, we'd like to take a moment of silence for Chad Gable.
We love you, Chad.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's dive in again. This is my number one, hence the... This is my number one of the night. Anything that Chad Gable touches, gold. Sami Zayn doing some of his best wrestling that I think I've seen him do in quite a while as well.
Since the NXT days.
Yeah, I think he's wrestling well. Chad Gable is just on fire, 100% gold of everything that he's doing right now. This is my number one match of the night. They put on an absolute banger. Neither man was carrying the other one. They were just going, and it was great. And, of course, the story with Otis and Maxine and Zawa and everything, Alpha Academy falling apart at the seams. It all just plays in. It was my number one match of the night for sure. Wild card. Chad Gable, Sami Zayn, what did you think? How did you feel about the Intercontinental title match as a whole?
Oh, man, I enjoyed it. Like you said, Sami's been doing his best in-ring work that he's been doing in a while. I think Chad Gable, character-wise, is running on a different level right now, and it was awesome. Chad Gable was trying to get the smalls over on Sami Zayn, but it just wasn't happening.
A bit of Cash didn't mean to, cut you off there, Wildcard. Cash was saying that he thought this was his best match of the night, I guess, or match of the night. I thought wrestling itself was pretty solid. The finish was a pretty solid finish. Obviously, we all expected and wanted Chad Gable to walk away as the new Intercontinental Champion, but obviously there's bigger things brewing for the Chad Gable character as we speak. And Maxine, Sami knocking Gable down into Maxine's ankle, the hurt, injured leg, causing Otis to pick her up, carry her to the back. That's ultimately what distracted Gable, him yelling and complaining like he's been doing for the last couple of weeks with the Alpha Academy. He's upset, turns around, haluva kick. Sami Zayn, 1, 2, 3, keeps the championship, moves on to the next feud, which we'll get into here in a little bit, and I'm excited for who his next opponent could be. I don't know about you guys, but
yeah.
Which brings me to our next match, and let's get into another hometown favorite here at Clash at the Castle, where we had Piper Niven taking on the WWE Women's Champion Bayley. I thought this match was pretty good. Piper really impressed me in this match, and this, I have to go back and watch all the matches again, but this low-key might be my favorite match of the night, because I did think that Piper did a phenomenal job. The selling with the moves that she pulled off, just Piper, all in all, was a very solid outing for her. Ultimately not getting the job done, not winning the championship, which was expected. We all here picked Bayley and thought Bayley would hold on to the championship because she has bigger things and bigger women to face at SummerSlam. But I thought that Piper Niven obviously looked strong in her outing, and it was the perfect match for Piper Niven and the perfect way for her to get showcased in front of her hometown audience and the WWE Universe as a global. And like Chuck mentioned earlier on, he said something about just the international crowds have been hitting on a different level, and I absolutely agree, because France was phenomenal, as you know, with AJ Styles and just everybody in general. And then the same thing here in Scotland with the Cody Rhodes and everything. All these
Perth crowd and
Perth, and you got to go back to Puerto Rico.
Yeah, Puerto Rico.
Backlash. Every PLE that's been, kind of outside of the United States since they've been going out international the crowds have been on another level, and the American crowds may not be as good per se all the time, but it's just they're not as consistent. They get to see. We don't realize what we have all the time because they're based here in America. So we just get to see them like any other thing. Like, look at these NFL games when they go out here to international. Like, all the people that pile in and just, they cheer. They don't give a hell. They don't give a shit who's out there, playing football. They're excited to see the NFL in their hometown. Same with the WWE. Which brings me back to the Bayley and Piper Niven match. What did you think about the match, Cash? I didn't mean to run a little long there, but...
It's going to be my number 5 of the night. For the simple fact that... new champions for the women's tag. That gave it spot number 4. I'm giving this one 5 for retention here. But not because it was a bad match. I don't think there was a single bad match at Clash of the Castle at all.
They're all pretty on the same...
Yeah, same level, some a little better than none, but there wasn't really anything bad. Like, Bayley, Piper Niven was very good. Piper Niven looked like a main event player, like she belonged there. And that was good to see, proud or not. She looked good. Still, just sits at 5 for me. Was just a good match. Good title match.
Wildcard, what about you? What'd you think about Bayley, Piper Niven, WWE Women's Championship?
So this is the match that I saw the least of, but shout out Piper Niven doing the work. I've seen her. I've been watching her since NXT UK. She was awesome. I'm glad that she was able to get this spotlight that she has well been overdue deserved.
I agree.
For that match, and Bayley just came in, did her work, and we're going to move on.
We are going to move on to the main event, which brings me to another hometown hero, Drew McIntyre, in front of 15,000, I think it was, sold out in Scotland for Clash at the Castle, taking on the World Heavyweight Champion, Damian Priest, which I did call that this was going to be the main event, and I did say that Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles was going to open the show on episode 1. This match was great. I'm glad that Judgment Day was actually barred from ringside, and when the referee went down, I'm thinking, okay, Judgment Day is probably going to get involved at some point, but it was good on them, and good on Triple H, good on booking, good on creative, on everybody involved, that they didn't, and they were able to let Priest work as a champion and really get to show what he can do. And like we mentioned earlier about those ropes, that spot where Priest goes to do the flip over the ropes,
scary spot.
I thought he was done for, and the fact that rumors came out and said that he was okay, and now it's confirmed 100% that he is okay and didn't suffer any significant injuries. I definitely thought that he tore a ligament, but great character work from Damian Priest to sell it, because I sure as shit thought that he was done for. I thought he was going to be vacating that World Heavyweight Championship on Monday Night Raw, and that was not the case. Obviously, the main event, the finish, I don't know about you guys, it was fucking awesome.
Alright, well, it's number 3 for me to round out the 5 matches, because Drew deserved to win. It's where I'm at with it. I thought it over a million times, and I've gone through all the possible scenarios and storylines.
I get it.
They could outdo this. And I know there's a bigger story at play. God, making Drew wait another year potentially to come back to the Clash of the Castle and finally get it done. Yeah, it's nice, but I felt like Drew had to do it right here. This was the type of match. This was the type of opponent. And then he didn't come out to Broken Dreams, so...
that was
enough for me.
definitely disappointing that he didn't come out to Broken Dreams, especially considering the fact that he did for just a little bit
just a line.
against, Roman Reigns.
But in that promo, he teased it at the wild card right before.
The presser.
Yes, the presser. I'm sorry. Yes, he teased it in the line, said the lyrics, and then
maybe they just couldn't get.
Scottish band
maybe they just couldn't. Maybe they just couldn't get the rights or whatever the case may be for that because
bites my ass.
Whatever.
Go ahead, wild card, main event.
So this to me was awesome, and I believe that
Don't disagree. It was awesome.
this match was awesome.
It was.
But I thought this was also a match that Damian Priest needed because he is constantly he's not backing down from anybody, and we're going to talk about his next opponent coming up, but this man is not backing down from anybody. It's kind of like he's hearing the little thought, in the back of his head, does he really deserve this? And he wants to go out there and prove it, that not only does he deserve it, but he should be in the spot that he's in because
That's a great take.
Because
everyone's pissed off that he's the champion. Let's be honest.
Judgment Day is barred from this, so he's doing this by himself. Now, granted, the smosh here is CM Punk comes down after the referee bump, the referee bump, and counts
1, 2,
and then hits the meme.
Yep.
gives him a 2 count, which and essentially in WWE, that's a big fuck you.
Yeah.
Right to his face, to Drew McIntyre in front of his entire home crowd.
And shout out the cameraman, by the way, because for viewers at home, good God, what a camera angle of him sliding in as a ref. If you didn't look at it immediately to the naked eye, you're going, oh, it's a ref count.
Well, him running down, I couldn't tell who
not at all. That was
was.
I'll tell you that.
And then when he slid in, and then I could see part of his shoes, I was like, that ain't no regular ref. And I was like, holy shit. Start marking out CM Punk there to do the Scottish screw job. I mean, it's...
And I don't know if you've heard these rants and raves by Wade Barrett, but Wade Barrett...
He's pissed. He hates CM Punk.
Absolutely has merit to stand on with this.
He damn near
Well, he's pissed Punk took over the Nexus.
He damn near buried that man on the mic out of what I felt like was maybe some real anger.
He's pissed at CM Punk for taking his spot. Took over Nexus, kicked him out of the main event. He went to the core and became nothing.
There's a story there.
I mean, Wade Barrett could still tear it down, but CM Punk coming back, coming into the ring, screwing Drew McIntyre. That was A+.
But gentlemen, we're getting ready. CM Punk's actually going to be on Smackdown. Who's a commentator on Smackdown?
Which we'll talk about that coming up as well here in the coming moments. I thought it was all in all Clash of the Castle, very solid premium live event. Let's get into what happened on Monday Night Raw. My God, if you didn't see Monday Night Raw, go tune in. Just go tune in. The entire episode was awesome. The ending, my God, goosebumps everywhere. We'll talk about that here in a minute. We had somebody quit the WWE.
What?
And we had a former WWE champion return.
What?
Yes, very crazy. So we'll kick off with that and the big return on the night. Monday Night Raw opens, the music hits, and if you listen to episode 1, then you know me. I'm a mark for this guy right here, and I just had a a little for Seth freaking Rollins returning to Monday Night Rollins here on Monday. So Seth comes out, he talks about and says that he's won the briefcase before and he's willing to do it again so he can become champion again. And Damian Priest comes out and tells him he doesn't need to climb a ladder. He tells him that he'll give Seth Rollins an opportunity. I'm thinking Seth's not cleared. Maybe he's just here for a promo. But yes, Seth Rollins is challenged by Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight Championship because Damian Priest respects everything that Seth Rollins has done for that championship, making it the workhorse championship and, things of that nature. And I'm excited to see it. Fortunately, I don't think that Seth will capture the championship there, even though Seth versus Gunther is a better match. But we'll talk about that on the SummerSlam preview when we get there. What do you guys think about Seth freaking Rollins returning to Monday Night Raw? Wild card?
Huge surprise for me, unannounced. I literally thought that this guy was going to take the year off. I thought the next time that
Rumble.
I thought we were going to see also breaking news here. Well, not breaking news, but developing news. Looks like the Royal Rumble, February 1st, 2025 at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis on a multi-event deal with Indianapolis Sports that may include
home of Mr. McAfee.
That may include a future WrestleMania and SummerSlam.
Talking Like Champions, where we break all of the news to you right here live. Back to you, Wildcard.
So it was absolutely phenomenal. I did not expect to see him, and I was losing my mind because it's Seth friggin' Rollins. This is one of the guys leading up to WrestleMania that made WWE
great again.
Must watch.
Water cooler news,
water cooler news, he said.
For your old heads out there, we met at the water cooler and talked about television shows.
I don't know about a water cooler, but I'm drinking wine coolers for your Mike's Hard Lemonade, sponsored by WWE.
So, but what do you think about
Seth freaking Rollins returning to Monday Night Raw, Cash?
Well, I'm ready to keep it moving, so I think there's only one thing we can say about the return of Seth freaking Rollins. If you know it, go along with me. So, moving on. Raw was great. Wait for it. You're about to hear the biggest...
Who quit WWE? We'll find out right here, right now, on Talking Like Champions.
Screw this company. I quit.
And you heard it here. Mike's dropped, and Drew McIntyre has apparently said, "Screw this company," has quit the WWE.
Wild.
This is shocking news, but obviously we know that he just re-signed a contract with the WWE, so obviously it's a storyline. CM Punk is going to appear on Smackdown, we were talking about, and I'm thinking maybe Drew McIntyre will pop up. It is in Chicago. Maybe he'll get the one-up-its back in CM Punk's hometown and embarrass him in front of his crowd. We don't know if Punk's cleared yet or anything like that, but that's what I'm going with. We'll break down that when we talk about our Smackdown preview for the week.
Punk could have just quit Raw, too, of course he said screw his company and told Triple H, so obviously quit the company, I understand. But, could you show up on SmackDown occasionally more instead of Raw?
It's in Chicago, that's why.
Definitely. But could lead, is what I'm saying, could lead to other things.
But this...
Could lead to being back SmackDown, other stories from different...
It could go to TNA.
Venture. Oh, wait, that's my biggest takeaway.
That's what I think he should do. Go to TNA for a little bit. If Punk isn't cleared, if Punk still needs a month or two, maybe you let...
Over there to cost him
Drew has been having beef with Moose, the TNA world champion over there, said that they want to have one-on-one, and...
I sure am, but...
We could be fantasy booking, but you could have heard it here first on Talking Like Champions podcast that Drew McIntyre is taking on Moose at the next TNA PLE, which I don't know what it is, but I'll find out for episode 3 and let you know.
Wrestling in 2024, anything's possible. And by anything, I mean a damn massacre. Because let me tell you.
My God! A massacre happened.
Fucking cinema, ladies and gentlemen. That's the one F word we get to use for this episode.
If you get mana,
cinema.
I had mana. I don't know about you.
Oh, I had the mana.
I had goosebumps up and down my spine, my arm, my legs. I was tingling all over the place.
Whoa!
Talking like champions, and this is how humans talk. So, let me get into it and tell you that the massacre that he's referring to was...
the long-awaited
It was
debut
brutal.
of the
6
Wyatt
minutes.
Six.
6 minutes for the Wyatt Six. It couldn't have been more fitting, and
I love everything about it. For you guys,
R.I.P. Chad Gable.
You guys who don't know,
Chad Gable was apparently killed.
yeah.
For
For you guys who don't know, Bray Wyatt, huge inspiration to me. I am a very creepy character follower. I mean, Undertaker, Kane, Bray Wyatt, and the Paul Bearers. I mean, go outside WWE. I love other people. I like Abyss and stuff like that. I love all those types of characters. Bray Wyatt brought something new and fresh to the table with The Fiend, and obviously wish he's still here today.
R.I.P. Bray.
Legacy being carried on by his brother and all of these other superstars that deserve to be shown in a different light, in a different way. This is absolutely fucking amazing. I marked out, boys. Let's just talk about it. I lost and I felt like a kid.
Jey Uso wins the match.
I was going off.
Okay.
I was losing it. I couldn't.
Okay.
Jey Uso wins and qualifies for the Money in the Bank ladder match, and we're like, we got 6 minutes left in Raw. And I'm like,
can't handle
what the
myself.
hell's gonna happen? He's yeeting everywhere. You know, we got the Fireflies already out, and then next thing you know, boom, the lights start to cut, and the goosebumps start to come, and let me tell you, when they played Shatter,
Oh. Just hearing that music starting to come in and then realizing it never
brought a
changed.
tear to my eye.
Realizing it never changed up to the full song and it just kept playing that. It was so...
It was iconic.
what's the word? It was eerie. It was very eerie.
And then we see the door. We cut to the door, and we're like, whew. Man,
The same door from Extreme Rules.
it's the same door because it was for Brody. Now it's for Bray. It's so fitting for this family, this new family. And then we get some smoke, and next thing you know, we see something crawling into our visual, and it was creepy.
Nikki Cross.
It was Nikki Cross, and it was creepy as shit. When she crawled up, that mask was beautiful, by the way, but it was definitely creepy. And then she gets up, and she does the old points like Pennywise to the back. And we're like, what is she pointing at? And they go back to Gorilla.
Yes, because that was something.
And then now I just feel like
the ramp.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have to remind you that this whole segment is shot with one camera.
Oh, yeah.
No camera cuts. It is like exactly
and
like
that's-
if they
we love it.
If they put that experience in a haunted house at Halloween Horror Nights, please take all of my money.
What?
Take all of the money.
That's
the
what it felt like. Wild
the-
carded.
The way that they built this through changing rooms, changing areas, it was absolutely phenomenal. I also have to say, after Drew quit, we saw a conversation between Triple H and Drew and Gorilla was in perfect condition.
Yep.
When we get back here,
It wasn't a conversation. Drew just walked by him and said, fuck you, Triple H.
It is literally out of control. Sparks are flying from the ceiling. There's this ominous character standing on this box. Extras are laid out left and right. There's blood stains.
Well, take him through the whole walk down. Like we said, Nikki points to the back. We pan to Gorilla. Like you said, one camera. Feels like haunted house at Halloween Horror Nights or just anywhere that somebody set up a haunted house. I mean, it's a walkthrough. It's exactly what it was. And like when we pan back to the back, we see a figure turned around and it appears to be a rabbit. And who is it? Rambling Rabbit.
That's Redbeard.
Turns around. You can see the red beard poking out with these extras laying down. Now, mind you, that my initial thought that the extra in the middle did appear to look like Carmelo Hayes, but I was like, nah, that's not Carmelo. Hey, he's on SmackDown, so it doesn't make sense. And the guy that was laying on top of him looked like Gunther, but everything's been confirmed, and the only actual person that was of relevancy was Chad Gable, which we'll get to here in a second. And Redbeard turns around. He has the Bludgeon Brothers hammer, and it says help on it. Just very eerie. And then we continue to walk back, and like Wildcard said, the sparks fly from the ceiling. And you see in the background the TVs are flickering, and it has the Wyatt 6 logo on it, and that's creepy as hell in its own right. And then there's this figure sitting on a box with dreadlocks, looking like a predator. Literally looks like the movie Predator sitting there, and it's Mercy the Buzzard, aka Dexter Loomis, and there's a guy who looks like he just got bludgeoned with a chair with blood all behind his head, laying there like his brains just got smashed into the wall. And then we pan to the back, and you see a bunny. And what was it? No, it wasn't the bunny. It was the pig. He was Huskus. It was Huskus the pig, and it was Joe Gacy. And he's the perfect fit. He was a cult leader. He was his own Bray Wyatt in his own right. Never be Bray Wyatt, but his own character. Can't wait to see how it's gonna be. And then you see Chad Gable, who looks like he got shot in the head. And we pan to the man who's just twirling that same hand, walking through. Uncle Howdy, Bo Dallas himself, and it was perfect.
I do have to interject here, although I do think it was perfect. I don't know if y'all caught it, but this boy almost tripped.
He did. You know what? He probably can't see shit out of that mask. It was dark as hell. There was smoke and fog everywhere. There was bodies laying everywhere. He did almost trip, for sure. That was the first thing I pointed out. I was like, damn, that boy would have fell. He would have ruined the whole segment, man. But he didn't, and he's a GOAT. Called himself. And what did you think about it, Cash? You kind of marked out for a second here, but you're back to life now. He's calmed down. And
loved it. It was a great segment.
Can't wait to see more.
I don't know what to expect yet, honestly, so we're waiting to see a lot more.
And like you had broke down previously, you were the one that said it had CG, and you no longer say thank you. You were the one that pointed that out about Chad Gable. And why Chad Gable?
Because he turned his back on his family.
And then all those guys that I said kind of looked like somebody. Like that one guy looked like Braun, but it wasn't.
They didn't actually put them in there. My take on it is we thought we saw Dominic. We thought we saw Gunther. We thought we saw Carmelo. We thought we seen... People were saying they saw Seth Rollins in there.
Or Cody Rhodes or Ilya.
Ilya. They were saying a lot of names. And I looked at a few of them. And I'll be damned if that wasn't Gunther. I'll tell you that much. Nonetheless, I feel like they picked... I saw this take online. I have to agree. I feel like they were picked with the same facial features or... bodily features of people. Oh, Braun. Sorry, Braun. That was another one. Swear to God, Braun Strowman was there, but that wasn't his tattoo. But I swear to God,
and he has hair now.
Yeah,
that's
just weird. It looked like old Braun.
But as soon as it paled, we're like, "Fuck, that's Braun." I feel like
they picked people who looked like these superstars, maybe as a sign of who they target next or reasons why. Because all of those people who I thought, or who we all thought as fans thought we saw, it all makes sense. Dominic Mysterio did what?
Turned his back on his family.
What did Carmelo Hayes do?
Turned his back on Trey Wheelie.
What has Braun Strowman done?
Braun Strowman has tagged with other people that are not the Wyatt family. He's also left WWE, started a company, and turned his back. Turned his back on a company that he started.
It all kind of makes sense seeing those people and swearing up and down. I see
Gunther, what did he do? Took out Vinci.
Yep, turned his back on Vinci. That's your family there for the longest time. I feel like there was something there. There's no way. We've learned. WWE doesn't just plant things and say, nah, whatever. There is a meaning for everything. If you notice something, there's a meaning for it. And I really feel like there was a meaning to all these extras. They wouldn't have had us doing that much thinking, going, wow, are all these superstars there? Like, I swear I saw this guy, I swear I saw this guy. So, nonetheless, I don't know what more to expect or say. I'm going to let Wildcard wrap up the segment here with the Wyatt 6. The only other thing I will say, the Wyatt 6, we always thought it was going to be Wyatt, like the number 6. Seeing that they styled the logo, the word sick,
like a sicko,
S-I-C-K, and then with the 6 at the end, like, not the number 6, that they are the 6. Six. I don't know. Super cool movie scene. 10 out of 10. Extravagant. Wildcard, take us away on this.
Those costumes were awesome. If I'm not mistaken, they're made by Jason Baker.
100% correct.
Jason Baker, yep.
I have fact checked it.
And those costumes
works on Halloween sets and stuff too.
It's really, really going to be interesting to see this go forward. You have to be careful with it. I know there was a little teaser. You guys called me immediately and were like, "Did you see the end of the Pat McAfee show?"
That was today.
Yeah. Breaking news for those who some may not have seen. If you check the last 40 seconds of
Thursday's Pat McAfee show ends with the lights dimming out and
Friday.
Him abruptly getting taken.
There's something. We don't really know. We can't confirm the being taken part, but basically they were there and they said, we saw something, and then they're like,
I can confirm.
What the fuck? And then
that Pat McAfee has not tweeted yet today since,
and that is not normal for those who don't know.
Which
Pat.
means his entire boys, whoever tweets for him, that's not himself, also were there as well. Pat has not tweeted today since that all went down.
Spoiler of this: you're going to turn on Pat McAfee show tomorrow. You know who's going to be hosting it? It's Uncle Howdy and the gang.
That would be awesome.
Might be fantasy booking again, but
it is on ESPN, so I don't see that happening. But I don't know. I have to check what's going on ESPN tomorrow. Pat might not have a show, which is why they might have done it this way. But all in all, Monday Night Raw will be in Indianapolis. So is Pat not gonna have a show until then, or is he gonna pop back up in a grave? We don't know. Where's Pat McAfee gonna be?
Bring him home.
Why Pat McAfee? What did Pat do? I mean, they did talk about Uncle Howdy on Tuesday, and
that's it.
they said he was a scary son of a bitch. So they didn't want nothing to do with him. But like Wildcard said, they do have to be careful. Some people might not agree with the whole him taking Pat McAfee, but it could be cool because football season is coming back, and Pat's contract is quote-unquote ending soon unless he has re-signed, which to my knowledge he has not. I'm a pretty avid Pat follower. So this could be his send-off of TV for a little while here until they can get something worked out. I don't know.
Yeah, you never know.
We got to see how it's going. I don't think he'd take him off TV considering that the Pat McAfee and the Boys DLC is coming to WWE 2K24, I think next month. But that's another story. I don't want to get too far off topic. We still have the NXT review of Tuesday night's NXT. We're going to preview Smackdown that's coming up tomorrow night, Friday night Smackdown. So in NXT, as Cody Rhodes teased last week, he talked about there was going to be a 25-man battle royal, and there could be the chance that there would be people from other locker rooms involved in this and participate in this battle royal. We did learn that when NXT opened up with the 25-man battle royal, we had some main roster superstars: Dragon Lee, Berto, Angel, Apollo Crews, Tyler Bate. But then we had 2 TNA guys in NXT. 2 TNA guys in NXT. And Frankie Kazarian, and the man that I don't know about you, but I do believe in Joe Hendry.
Say his name and
he appears. We believe in Joe Hendry.
I believe in Joe Hendry.
Yes, I too believe in Joe Hendry. Not gonna lie, I believe in Joe Hendry since I was reacquainted with him. I say reacquainted because I guess he's been on... I don't know much. I know he's been on the scene of like indie and stuff like that for quite some time.
I think he was on What Culture?
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. I'll have to fact check that.
But I got reacquainted with him when I first seen him here in TNA last year or so when he was coming in. And then he won digital media title and everything. I was like, dude, this dude's awesome. He's got his own song. Like, literally his own song. He sings it and everything. I already liked him from the start. Now we are kicking into full gear, especially with this cross partnership right here. This is amazing.
So
Joe Hendry is that fucking over.
Oh, the camera? Did you see the camera shake? And that?
Shook.
And yes, granted, I've been to an NXT TV
we have
taping.
Full Sail is small, but
the Performance Center now, it's no longer in Full Sail. But yes, the like you said, the arena isn't too big. It isn't too small, but to see the cameras shake the way that it did, that place, the roof blew off. Imagine 14,000 strong.
Yeah.
Imagine Joe Hendry at Clash of the Castle. That place would have blew up. They didn't have pyro, but they would have if Joe Hendry was in WWE at that moment. Let's get to, and then we had Ethan Page, who obviously still he's been working the main roster scene since coming over from AEW. He was actually never eliminated in this match. He went through the middle rope because if you remember when he debuted, he took out Ora Mensa, and since they've had built up this little rivalry, and Ora Mensa actually came in and attacked Ethan Page, threw him through the middle rope, and they brawled to the back, and then went on to see Javon Evans win the Battle Royal.
Yeah.
And I thought the match was good. Javon Evans, he's bouncy. I'll give him that. He is bouncy.
Bouncy. You like Javon Evans, one?
I love Javon Edwin.
Bouncy.
Bouncy.
He is. That's the word, man. He is got high praise, high ropes, high springboards. He's doing it all.
And he's 20 years old.
Yeah, he's a young
Superstar.
Young OG. He's the young OG.
He's the young OG.
Frankie Kazarian. Back to that real quick. Man, legend. I've been watching wrestling for quite a long time. I watched Kazarian all through his prime of TNA back in the day. X Division Championship wins and such. I freaking loved Frankie Kazarian, man. So glad to see him come over here and get to be seen like this.
And that was awesome to see 3 former AEW, because Lexus King was in the match, I believe.
Yeah, he was in there.
So to see 3 former AEW guys all in the ring.
Sean Spears as well.
And Sean Spears. Yep. 4 AEW guys all in the ring.
Which, now we get to the, we're going to come back to that main event part of the night.
Came up next, we had Roxanne Perez, the NXT Women's Champion, teamed up with Lola Vice, and they took on Lash Legend, Jakara Jackson representing the Meta-4, and JC Jane and Jasmine Nix. And JC Jane did come out with that dashing Cody Rhodes mask that he gifted her last week in her entrance. And Vic Joseph did make a comment to her, did make a commentary announcement about saying she's dashing. So I don't know if that's going to be a weekly reoccurring thing
she was
or
wearing
not.
The black mask too.
She did wear the black
Cody
mask.
Clear one too, which is I do like that. It's kind of her own thing.
Which is like she wears the clear to come out too. She's dashing, but she wears the black to protect her face. Yeah. So it's cool. I dig it. Ultimately, Roxanne and Lola were able to work together to win that match, and
as they should.
Obviously, they're not going to let the NXT.
I am calling it now, though.
Champion.
Lash Legend, man, future star.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Wildcard, do you like Lash Legend?
Oh, I love me some Lash Legend. I love me some Lash Legend, boy. Trick Willie got it going on, boy. I said, hey, can I come to the cookout?
I think we all want to go to the cookout. No, I think Lash Legend's actually going to be a superstar. She's getting better and better in the ring. She started out, she was one of those also started out green. She's gotten a lot better in the ring here, being around Meta-4.
Yeah, she was hella green when she came in.
She's been good around Meta-4.
She's been
Noam Dar.
Yeah, because Noam's a good wrestler.
He's a hell of a wrestler.
So he's been training, working with her every day, and that's how she gets better. And then, so the thing is Lola's been looking at that NXT championship.
She's
Roxanne Perez, and
listen, her winning the breakout and not winning
the Prodigy didn't like that. Prodigy did not like that. So after they won, Lola did her little twerk, little dance move, whatever, celebrate. Looked at the belt,
emo,
and then with a spinning back fist from Roxanne Perez, who had already took advantage after Lola hit the 305 spinning back fist. She tagged herself in to pick up the win with the Pop Rocks.
Yep.
So she already upstaged Lola. I think we're starting to turn Lola face here now. She's too good with the crowd. The crowd loves Lola too much. Lola ultimately might dethrone Roxanne to become the NXT Women's Champion.
You thought it's really unfortunate because they're just setting Roxanne up for one woman and one woman only.
Oh yeah, we still got Yulia.
Oh yeah.
Just don't know when she's coming, so.
Yeah, so Lola's great right now. I think Lola needs to go upset Kalani Jordan when the time is right. That would be. She deserves a title. But
it's going to be Fallon Henley, which we did see Fallon Henley in the back crying about not getting an opportunity for the championship tonight.
Yeah.
Which did get defended for the first time ever. The NXT Women's North American Championship was on the line against Michin. And hey, it was a good match.
Yeah,
it's solid. It made Kalani look good. OC did accompany Michin to the ring. At one point, though, OTM came down, distracted the OC, which in turn, Michin was on the top rope, and Jada Parker came out of nowhere, knocked her off the ropes. Kalani never seen it happen. Kalani goes to the top, hits the one-of-the-kind moonsault, picks up the 1-2-3, defends her North American Championship, has no idea, just thinks that Michin slipped off the top, but that ultimately was not the case, so we'll lead to something there. What did you guys think of the match?
Match was good. Good first defense. Good first challenger for Kalani Jordan.
And it's a good way to establish her as somebody big.
Yeah, absolutely. I love, side note, I guess, I love that the OC still ride with Michin. And they still ride with AJ when needed as well. It's, they're on different sides, different rosters, different playing fields, but I like that. Love Michin also. Great wrestler. Doesn't get many flowers, but she's been doing it for a long time. Made Kalani Jordan look good. Good match. Good first title defense. Moving right along. Axiom and Nathan Frazier had themselves a backstage segment. Axiom was upset that Frazier competed in the Battle Royal and got an NXT Heritage Cup match against Tony D next week.
Because he eliminated him out in the Battle Royal.
Yes. Are they running some dissension between tag champions down in NXT, kind of like what's going on SmackDown as well? What do you think, Wildcard? Do you think that Axiom and Nathan Frazier really break up and lose the titles in the not-so-distant future? Or are they just playing us right now? What are they doing?
I talked about this last week. I was like, WWE loves to make tag teams.
You did.
Just to break them up.
Yeah.
You did say it.
I hate, and I swear,
They ain't break up New Day.
I love tag teams. And it never fails. This is why I never buy tag team merch. Because they always
What happens? You bought a DIY shirt,
They break up.
and now they're back together, so it's okay, but, that's not the point.
I had a Dudley Boys t-shirt when they returned back in like 2015. They quickly broke up.
Yep.
I'm like, come on. I had help me out here, the Certified G's. Bought the hat, you know what I'm saying?
The Certified
They broke
Gs.
up.
Not Big Bill.
Big Cass and Enzo.
And you can't teach that.
Soft.
One time for the one time.
SAWFT. Soft.
I think AEW can make some money if they brought Enzo in and brought him in the learning tree. Anyway, moving
That's a different
on.
story.
Obafemi, Wesley, he tells Wes get one final opportunity for the NXT North American Championship.
He's tired of Wesley's obsession with that North American Championship, which I don't blame him because he got hurt and then got screwed out of the title against Dom. But
So hear me out, I think he could turn heel. Obafemi is like tweener. I want to call him a heel, obviously. He's not good, but he hasn't done anything bad win. He hasn't cheated to win or anything like that. He's just... he's over with the crowd.
he's in Baku.
Yeah.
And Baku was an asshole, but at the end of the day, he meant well.
Exactly, and that's kind of where he's at. He's right in the middle. He's tweener. Wesley, I think, has to turn heel.
Wesley's just going to the main
Wesley
roster. He'll
has to
lose this
turn heel.
opportunity.
Now, hear me out, though.
He'll go to the main roster, so it's best for business.
Yes, but have him turn heel because I think he does win this North American Championship one more time before he leaves. I do think he rides out the year down
With the Rascals' help.
Yes, I think somehow your Rascals' involvement will
If
still
I'm not
happen.
mistaken, they're still running heel
I think,
on TNA unless they just recently flopped, which I feel like they may have. I haven't been following TNA as much as the other products lately, but
either way, if Wesley turns heel, he finds his way back to North America. If not, Obafemi try and keep it moving. I love it.
and we did see Jensen trying to get to the ring, but he was stopped by security, Briggs Jensen. So I'm thinking maybe Josh Briggs comes back to that title, or maybe they're running a story
Wild card.
to where
tell me what you
Briggs
like about this
Jensen
I
gets
know
it done. He was, remember,
I
he's B2's son.
Well, I know how I feel. Me and Cap, we are around each other all the time. We talk about this stuff. Wild card. I don't get to hear your opinion as much. This is when we do. Jensen, this is really random. Nothing really happened, and then something on Twitter or X, and then a couple side videos that weren't even on TV, and then all of a sudden you start seeing them. It's kind of just been thrown in very smoothly, actually. Tell me.
I've seen Jensen on live events. More of a fan of Jensen than I was Briggs.
Yes,
So-
he does go to these events a lot. I do forget that.
Yeah, so to see...
You get to see it up close.
Again, tag team, break him up.
Right there.
I'm like, this just
That
goes
is right.
It's
never ending.
It's never ending. It's like...
It's never
It
ending.
is what it is, but
Still love it.
I love Jensen. I love to see what he's doing right now.
Yeah, what do you think they're doing? What is this storyline?
It could be... Jensen could be becoming the next lunatic fringe of the WWE.
Okay, that's a good take.
Yeah. That's a good. It is a good take.
Someone help me here if you guys can. I read
Because he had
something.
his
Is
last-
this an old storyline they did back in the day?
Probably, Sean likes to recycle, but it's
I'm trying
okay.
to think. Was
I'm
this like
I'm okay with
WCW or
it. It's
something?
just
There
like
was-
movies nowadays.
there was something that
What do we
ran like
do
this
every
back in
time?
the
You
day.
turn around, and you got a new movie, a different actor, different director, same storyline.
I like
So
it.
it's okay. It's
I've
Triple
agreed.
H. New director, you got a new producer, Shawn Michaels. Now you have
Let him cook.
new actors,
keep letting
NXT,
Shawn
WWE
cook, guys.
product.
Please keep letting Sean.
And then you just recycle whatever it worked back in the day, and it's okay because every promotion uses recycle storylines. It's just something that happens. You can't avoid it.
Chase U versus the OC.
Which, they've been having their little beef. Rich Holland looked like he put his hand on Duke Hudson's back for leverage in the pin on Carl Anderson.
It looked like it. He definitely did.
So Rich Holland definitely joining Chase U.
I love this. A lot of people might not like it. I think Chase U has nothing left to lose because, well, Thea Hale said it. She looked right in their face and told them, you almost gambled away everything, She looked at Duke Hudson, called him an MVP of what, essentially? I mean, she gave him to a real backstage promo, and then they go out there and do this. I like it. You got to get some dirty tactics. You got to change up your story. You got to change up your ways a little bit, and this is good. I like Chase U. I've always loved Andre Chase and the boys. You like Chase U, Wildcard, do you?
Ooh, boy, I love Thea Hale. I'll tell you that, my boy. Boy, there's Gaboyski.
Shaboyski.
Moving on.
Fallon Henley took on Carly Bright with Kendall Gray ringside, and we did see another weird arrival of Wendy Chu. Oh man, as she came out of nowhere, she puts Gray in a Cobra Clutch, passes her out. Then meanwhile, Henley hits Bright with the Shining Wizard, picks up the victory. But yeah, like Cash said, we're loving this Wendy Chu. It's like she gets to mix both characters.
It is.
Her old character before the sleeping, and then she was sleeping, and now here we are with a Woken Dead.
Dude, it's a great mix, honestly. I like it. I'm excited to see more. I've always loved Wendy Chu.
And she seems to be heel, but we don't know right now because who knows?
Got me.
She's just appearing out of nowhere. And then it brings us to the main event where we did see Ethan Page and Javon Evans get into a backstage segment. Ethan Page said he was never eliminated like we had stated earlier on, and he wanted to fight Javon Evans to prove that he should have been the winner of that match, and he did.
Lo and behold.
He did pick up the victory over Javon Evans as Trick Williams sat ringside.
As he hit him with that beautiful, beautiful Ego's Edge. That thing is a beaut.
Looked like it hurt. Tossed them, picked up the victory, and then you seen Ethan Page got into the face of Trick Willie. Said he had unfinished business, said he wanted him at Heat Wave. Then Sean Spears runs out of nowhere, starts beating the shit out of Javon Evans. What's Trick Willie do? He got respect for Javon Evans, runs into the ring, says, I'm about to beat him down. We get into a big assault. All four men laying waste in the ring with the NXT Championship in the middle. And I don't know about you, but if that doesn't tell you context clues, fatal four-way at Heat Wave, I don't know what does.
I can't either, man.
Two Canadians in the match, too.
Yeah, absolutely. I would...
And this is how you would get the belt off Trick Williams.
This is exactly how you would get it. And either here...
and then I debut him after SummerSlam, if that's me.
If I'm gonna lose the belt here, if I'm Trick Willie, I'm gonna lose the belt here. I don't think Javon Evans is gonna be the guy to win that belt.
Too early.
So it's gonna be Ethan Page.
Gotta be all Ego,
or it's gonna be Spears.
It could be Sean Spears,
which would be a complete boost to one of these guys' careers. Although, again, we'll see what happens. It's gonna be a hot crowd in Toronto. I know they might be a little burnt out for Money in the Bank, but Heat Wave, baby, July 7th.
It's gonna be good.
I'm excited for it. I'm excited for Heat Wave. I'm excited for Money in the Bank. I'm excited for the entire weekend. Again,
I'm excited to see what Canada can do.
Nothing better than when we have these.
I'm excited to see what Toronto can do now.
Yeah.
It's not as overseas.
We go there. We go there a lot too. They go to Toronto quite often.
Yeah, and it's not as overseas as they have been recently. But hey, Toronto's a different place. I want to see what they can do. Now let's move on here.
Let's preview SmackDown, which is going to be tomorrow night, it'll be tonight because like we said before, we record our podcast on Thursday nights. We'll post it tomorrow for Friday, so everybody will get a preview of SmackDown. And like Cash just said, live from Chicago, Illinois, where we get the return of What do you see? CM Punk about to get screwed by Drew McIntyre.
We have CM Punk appearing live on SmackDown, live from Chicago. LA Knight and Logan Paul make an appearance. And we have a Money in the Bank
qualifying match between Randy Orton, the legend killer, Mr. RKO himself, taking on Tama Tonga and Carmelo Hayes, and another Money in the Bank qualifier match.
Would be Kevin Owens, Andrade, and Grayson and Waller, but I do not have a confirmation on that yet.
Floated around. I believe that will probably go ahead and take place.
I believe that was confirmed.
I think I did see
with
it.
the other one.
And then obviously we'll see Cody Rhodes alive. But
Cody Rhodes live.
remember last week LA Knight was in Logan Paul's pool.
Yeah, dude,
so he
I'm
said,
ready.
I'll see you at Smackdown
I'm ready.
next week. So that's how we're going to get that appearance between
I'm so ready.
and Logan Paul. And then
If you guys don't
who do you think?
comedy, LA Knight and Logan Paul right now is like some seriousness, but dude, it's good comedy, it's good fun, and I like it.
Who do you think's going to win that Money in the Bank qualifying match with Randy Orton, Tama Tonga, and Carmelo Hayes?
So, I got Randy Orton. Short, sweet, simple, to the point. He doesn't need the contract, but I definitely don't see Tama Tonga. I feel if Carmelo is going to get in this match, it's going to have to be with a second chance opportunity. I believe they might have those for the losers, maybe like a loser's bracket.
They normally do. You know how they do.
So I feel like Carmelo's going to get in that way, but Randy Orton's going to come out of the win on this one, and he is going to be the second man that is qualified for Money in the Bank.
What do you think, Mr. Cash?
Tama Tonga.
Think Tama Tonga is going to win?
Dark horse pick. I think
I like it.
Randy Orton
Doesn't need it, like you said.
Carmelo Hayes here, and they won't be a deciding factor here. One of them gets caught. Because why? Someone from the bloodline in the Money in the Bank ladder match and not getting the job done. Just what they need.
Good story.
Help propel this bloodline story without Roman being here right now, or at least until he gets back. I think that would be good. And I think Randy Orton has bigger things to do. He doesn't need to get involved in Money in the Bank to get towards what he wants. Clearly, that's the WWE Championship that's on Cody Rhodes' shoulder. Carmelo Hayes obviously would be a great pick. Put him in, why not? But just because of the bloodline factor, I think Tama Tonga could pull this out if they do it right.
I like it. I like that we're all on different paths for this one because I think Melo don't miss. I told y'all before that that's my favorite upcoming superstar here on the WWE. Randy Orton just doesn't need the briefcase. Again, don't think there's a reason for him to be in it, even to lose, because ultimately, like we said, we think it's going to be Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam. The story has its own, the writing's on the wall for itself. Tama Tonga, I just don't think they're going to put him in the ladder match quite yet. Yes, it makes sense, but then again, Tama Tonga just doesn't need to be in this because of the whole Kevin Owens bloodline story. Randy Orton, RKO is still a fucking thing, and that's why I think Carmelo Hayes is going to walk away. Also, you think about last year. You had Butch when he was still Butch. You had Pete Dunne in there, and you didn't think he was going to get in there. But it makes sense because he's an NXT guy. Triple H wants a smaller guy for the ladder match. Carmelo's going to sell. It's going to be great. You need somebody like that in there. Yeah. Obviously, he probably won't win if he does get in there. But LA Knight, if he doesn't get the job done, he'll probably get into the Money in the Bank qualifying. I'm not sure if we're going to do Logan Paul and LA Knight, if we're gonna stretch it out to SummerSlam, or if we're gonna do it at Money in the Bank again. But I think Carmelo Hayes walks away here, like you said. Each man has their own case why it makes sense if they make it, but ultimately, I believe Carmelo Hayes, so we'll be excited to talk about this on episode 3 next week when we pick back up. And then Kevin Owens, Andrade, and Grayson Waller. If that match does indeed happen tomorrow, I'm going to go ahead and go with Andrade winning here, solely for the fact that, again, the Kevin Owens bloodline thing it's continue until he's 50. Grayson Waller obviously has a thing with Theory. I think Theory accidentally cost Grayson Waller in that match, and Andrade, he's a Triple H guy. I just think another man like that should be in a ladder match. Probably won't win, but again, if last year's anything to go off of, every guy that was in the Money in the Bank, I don't believe any of them had ever won the World Championship.
What do you think, wild card? Kevin Owens, Andrade, Grayson Waller.
So I saw what could have been a spoiler for the card for Money in the Bank at Toronto, and it actually says Cody Rhodes might be defending that WWE title against Kevin Owens, and that is a way that you could get Randy Orton into that story by having
Kevin Owens,
Cody, and Kevin take on each other at Money in the Bank. Also, see, it doesn't say here in our thing, but Also, Solo Sikoa could possibly be in that Money in the Bank. And if that's the case, then I'm really interested to see, is this going to be Jey Uso or is this going to be Solo Sikoa that's going to walk out with this Money in the Bank?
So we did actually, I'm glad that you brought that up because we did fail to hit on that earlier on the Clash at the Castle review. What happened after Cody Rhodes retained the championship when he walked back up, Bloodline came out. That's when Orton and Kevin Owens came out. Orton looked at that title like Cash said earlier, and that's why he wants the championship. So right there it makes sense, but that right there in its own right is why neither of them men win or get into the Money in the Bank qualifiers, in my opinions. And that's what I think we're going to get. Solo Sikoa versus Cody Rhodes at Money in the Bank. When he doesn't get the job done, the Tribal Chief comes back trying to upstage me, blase blase. And that will leave for the SummerSlam, the preview and the review, because we'll be talking about it when Roman Reigns comes back.
That's about it, boys.
I don't know about everyone else, but yeah, we've broken down everything that has to do with the WWE. And
I love WWE.
we will be sure to hit on
Shout out.
AEW. What's the next pay-per-view?
Next pay-per-view is Money in the Bank.
No, AEW.
Oh,
You got
AEW
it,
Forbidden
AEW.
Door next
That's
Sunday.
Next Sunday, so we'll actually
We'll
hit
throw
on
the
next.
AEW block.
We'll do a Forbidden Door preview next
Special
week.
guest AEW correspondent.
Okay, Wildcard breaking some news.
Next week we'll be live again with AEW correspondent for the segment of breaking down Forbidden Door, giving you a nice little preview, and then we'll be sure to review it. Episode 4. I don't know about you guys. I feel like it was a good time. Once again, second episode in the books.
Let's end it with something like this. Let's send the fans home. Here you go. Classic match of the day. Wildcard. Give them something to watch.
Classic match of the day. I'm going to tell you to go and watch Triple H versus Cactus Jack, Royal Rumble 2000. That street fight stands out in my mind. One of top 3 of my favorite matches of all time. I'm going to tell you to go and watch that. And you know what? I might actually watch it tonight. I've seen it a dozen times. I might watch it again.
Hell yeah.
I like it. It's a great pick, and going forward as this podcast continues to grow and our viewers and our audience continues to expand here, talking like champions, I'm thinking that maybe we'll start giving out some merch on something like this. So when you tune in, maybe you had to retweet this. What was the match of the day? And when you break it down and maybe you say, oh, you have to break down exactly what we want you to break down, and you might just win some merch here at Talking Like Champions podcast.
Big things, big things, big things. We want to thank you guys for tuning in, listening in, as always, here Talking Like Champions. We love you. We appreciate you. And until next time,
See ya.
Peace!
Yes, sir. Hot tour on that thing.